Come on. Good job. Go. Come on. You gotta move. You gotta keep moving your arms though. You gotta keep going. Move them. Move them. Move.
In a twist of fate that no family should ever endure, a long-estranged bond turned deadly. Genene Charlotte Fisher, a 28-year-old mother, believed that she could finally rebuild a meaningful relationship with her troubled brother, Kendrick Rayvon Fisher. After serving 7 years in prison for armed robbery, with additional time for contraband offenses, Kendrick was released in December 2023. Just a few months after his release, an unspeakable act shattered their family forever. Today, we unravel the harrowing story of how a hopeful attempt at reconciliation ended in tragedy, claiming the lives of Genene and her 2-year-old daughter, Karlie Watkins. Before we begin this video, we would like to express our deepest sympathies to the family and friends who were severely affected by this horrible crime. We would also like to send condolences to the victim's family and friends. Genene Charlotte Fisher was known in her community for her warmth, resilience, and unwavering love for her daughter Karlie Watkins. At 28, Genene had built a life filled with hope and determination. Karlie, just 2 years old, was the light of her life, a symbol of new beginnings and unconditional love. Genene was dedicated to giving Karlie a nurturing home, and friends recall her gentle smile and caring nature. She was described as a beacon of love, whose dreams for her daughter shone as brightly as her own. Kendrick Rayvon Fisher, sharing the same last name, was once a distant relative with whom Genene hoped to rebuild their lost bond. However, Kendrick's history was marred by violence and criminality. He spent 7 years in prison for armed robbery, with additional time for contraband violations, and was released in December 2023. Neighbors recalled that even before his release, there were whispers of his dangerous behavior, and after his release, those warnings grew louder. Genene, longing for family connections, believed that she and her brother could finally mend their fractured relationship. Against all odds, she hoped that love could triumph over the troubled past. For a few months, Kendrick was even seen living with his sister, a sign that he was attempting to reintegrate into family life. Yet, despite these glimmers of hope, residents began to feel uneasy. Neighbors noticed that Kendrick's behavior was erratic and unsettling. His own family admitted that he had a history of aggression. His mother revealed that he had physically assaulted her on more than one occasion. On the night of the tragedy, emergency calls were placed by a concerned relative when it became clear something was terribly wrong. Police were flagged down around 3:30 a.m. on November 29th to the Knox at West Chase Apartments off Richmond Avenue near South Derry Ashford Road on Houston's west side. When the officers arrived, they were met with a scene of unthinkable loss. Genene and Karlie were found with fatal injuries. Both the mother and daughter were stabbed to death, evidence pointing to a violent struggle. Investigators quickly pieced together clues from forensic evidence, witness statement, and digital records, including disturbing social media chats where Kendrick's erratic behavior had been noted. Every piece of evidence reinforced the chilling reality that the hope for reconciliation had given way to a final, irreversible act of violence. Vigils, memorials, and heartfelt GoFundMe campaigns have emerged as neighbors and loved ones struggled to come to terms with the loss. In every message of support, one theme resonates: nothing meant more to Genene than her daughter Karlie. She was her heart, her soul, and her reason for living. The community's grief is also a call for change, an urgent reminder that domestic violence and unresolved family conflicts must be addressed before more lives are lost.
Some other news on this Saturday night: a brother now charged with killing his sister and his 2-year-old niece. Police say he stabbed the mother and daughter to death in their West Houston apartment the day after Thanksgiving. ABC 13's Luke Jones is at the Harris County Jail, where that man's being held.
The judge has denied to set bail. The charge here, capital murder. The motive, Still unclear. What is clear, however, he has an extensive criminal history and only got out of prison last year. At the doorstep of an unspeakable crime, balloons, teddy bears, and heartfelt messages left for 28-year-old Genene Fisher and her 2-year-old daughter's family. Genene's brother, 29-year-old Kendrick Fisher, now charged with stabbing her and her daughter to death Friday morning.
I don't understand hurting your own sister, hurting a woman, hurting another person, period. But what possessed you to hurt this baby?
Records show Kendrick Fisher had gotten out of prison last December after serving a 7-year sentence for armed robbery with extra time tagged on for contraband. For the last few months, family says Genene Fisher had been letting him stay with her at the Knox at West Chase apartments.
A lot of the residents around here would get an eerie feeling from him.
And that includes members of his own family.
He had already beat the hell out of me.
Fisher's mother telling reporters Friday how her son had once attacked her, but friends say there were no signs of ill will between brother and sister.
We could see no red flags. This was just completely out of the blue.
Friday, Fisher's mother says her son was acting completely out of character.
His so-called friends laced him on some fake weed and it him up. So he come home on a rampage.
Around 3:30 that morning, police say they were flagged down and told Genene Fisher and her daughter were being held hostage in their apartment. When officers made it inside, they say they found both dead with multiple stab wounds and a blood-covered brother sleeping on a sofa.
The apartment managers were crying about that. Residents were crying about that.
Emmanuel Thomas's 3-year-old daughter, a frequent playmate of the murdered 2-year-old, a child whose death is just as perplexing as it is horrifying.
She was defenseless. She can't do anything. She posed no threat to you. That's what I and a lot of other people are wondering.
Wondering and asking questions. Police say only one man can answer. Luke Jones, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Initially, his bond was set at a lower amount, but due to the severity of the crime, it was raised to $3 million, a decision reflecting both the brutality of his actions and the danger he posed to society. Reports revealed that Genene had previously filed a report against Kendrick for violent behavior, yet she still extended a hand to help him after his release. Domestic violence doesn't always happen between partners. It can happen within families, among siblings, and between people who were once close. If you, or someone you know, is in a situation where they feel unsafe, please reach out for help. There are resources available, and there is no shame in prioritizing your safety. A second chance should never come at the cost of your life. As we remember their light, let their story be a catalyst for change, a call to support families in crisis, to protect our vulnerable, and to work together for a safer tomorrow. If you would like to stay updated with this type of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the following video.